Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the Costa Mesa City Council closed session meeting for Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. This is our meeting with the regular joint meeting of the City Council and the successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency and Costa Mesa Housing Authority. I call this meeting to order for closed session, and may we please have the roll.
Councilmember Chavez.
Present.
Councilmember Gameros.
Present.
Councilmember Harlan.
Present.
Councilmember Harper.
Here.
Councilmember Reynolds.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mar.
Here.
Mayor Foley.
Present. Okay, and at this time is the time in our meeting for public comments. Members of the public are welcome to address the City Council only on those items on the closed session agenda. Each member of the public will be given a total of 3 minutes to speak on all items on the closed session agenda. And let's see if we have any speakers. We have some attendees. It looks like our first speaker is Mary Helen Beautificado.
Good afternoon, Mayor, members of the City Council. My name is Mary Helen Beautificado, and I'm one of the owners of Insight Psychology and Addiction, Inc. And I'm calling in to comment on closed session item number 3. I submitted a more detailed comment letter that I hope the council was able to read in advance of this meeting. I want to underscore a few points in the letter and then answer any questions that you might have for me. First, I want you to know that the kind of housing Insight provides is crucially important, but it has never been more necessary than it is right now. We're not a sober living home. The housing we provide in Costa Mesa is a step-down supportive housing that people come to when they're transitioning from inpatient mental health treatment, but they're not yet ready to return to their normal lives. Our residents are veterans, survivors of sexual trauma, those who struggle with anxiety and depression, some of which have gotten worse as a result of the pandemic. They are capable of independent living, but they need a support system in order to get there. It should go without saying that the past 12 months have been very hard from a mental health standpoint. The stress and the isolation of the pandemic has driven many people to a breaking point, and people are really struggling right now. Insight has resources to help every step of the way. In addition to our supportive housing in Costa Mesa, we have clinical services in Newport Beach and a crisis stabilization facility in Santa Ana. Now, the counterclaims that your attorneys are asking you to authorize today are seeking to shut all of this down, all of it. Not just the Costa Mesa housing. Your counterclaims ask the court to order all of Insight's operations to shut down. They ask for an order that we be dissolved as a company and that we be barred from providing this kind of housing or these types of services anywhere in the state of California ever again. Your attorneys are asking you guys to greenlight this today. Does it strike you as reasonable? Before you make this decision, I suggest you ask your attorneys how many administrative citations have been issued to Insight? How many notices of violations? Our supportive housing has been in Costa Mesa since 2015. How many complaints have you heard about? None. Other than filing an action against the city for denying its group home permit application, what has Insight done wrong? Insight doesn't want to be in litigation with the city, but after the prior council denied our permit and reasonable accommodation requests, it was our only option. All we want to do is keep our doors open to the residents who need us. The counterclaims that your attorneys are asking you to ratify or re-ratify are not warranted. Most of the claims have already been struck by the court in recent motions. The only thing that's left is a nuisance abatement claim that's based on us operating without the very permits that the prior council denied. But even if these claims have no merit, they drive up the cost of litigation. And it's not just for Insight. It's going to cost the city a lot of money too. So before you vote tonight, please consider the impacts of your decision. Do you want to be known as the city that runs up huge legal bills while it faces a structural deficit because it wants to shut down housing for people with disabilities during a pandemic? I hope not. I respectfully request you reverse course and vote no on ratifying the counterclaims against Insight. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Autumn Elliott.
Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to
make public comment. I'm Autumn Elliott from Disability Rights California. Disability Rights California is a statewide nonprofit organization. We're mandated under state and federal law to advocate on behalf of people with disabilities. And we're representing an individual in the litigation that's at issue in agenda item number 3. Our client's identified as Jane Doe to protect her privacy. She has a mental health disability. She has post-traumatic stress disorder and was abused as a child. The housing that Insight provides was a lifeline for her. When her mental health disability got worse and she needed treatment in an institution, when she was ready to leave and come back to the community, Insight's housing provided the support that she needed to make that transition. Disability Rights California got involved in this case because people with disabilities need housing options like this one. The kind of supportive housing that Insight provides is rare, and it would be devastating for people like Ms. Doe if it were suddenly not an option anymore. We've had a number of discussions with the outside law firm that's representing Costa Mesa in this case, and I've repeatedly asked them to tell us what's the basis for the allegations against Insight. Do you have any information for thinking any of the allegations of their wrongdoing are true? And they couldn't. They couldn't tell us anything. And so on behalf of Disability Rights California, we're asking the council not to make decisions in this case based on fear and stereotypes about people with disabilities, including Ms. Doe. We're asking you to make your decision based on the facts. And the facts are, this is critical housing for people with disabilities like our client, and there isn't any evidence that Insight is doing anything wrong. Thank you.
Thank you. If you would like to speak to this item, please raise your hand on the hand raise feature on your computer, or press *9 to request to speak. Okay, seeing no one else, we will adjourn to closed session with these items. But first, Ms. Green, do you need to read the titles?
Thank you. Item number 1, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 3 cases pursuant to subdivision D4 of section 54956.9 California Government Code, potential litigation. Item 2, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 2 cases pursuant to subdivision D2 of section 54956.9 California Government Code, potential litigation. 3, conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, 1 case pursuant to subdivision D1 of section 54956.9 California Government Code, Insight Psychology and Addiction Incorporated versus City of Costa Mesa, U.S. District Court, Central District of California. Item 4, threat to security pursuant to subdivision A of section 54957 California Government Code, consultation with Costa Mesa Director of Emergency Services and City Manager Lorianne Farrell Harrison, Brian Glass, Police Chief, Dan Stefano, Fire Chief, and Jason Dempsey, Emergency Services Administrator. Thank you.
Okay, we will now adjourn or recess.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Mayor Foley?
I did see your hand. I apologize.
That's all right. I want to make some disclosures regarding the closed session items. Closed session item 1, which is potential initiation of litigation, 3 cases. 2 of those cases we are not identifying at this time. If the council authorizes litigation against them, we will make an appropriate report out after the conclusion of the closed session. The third potential initiation of litigation relates to the city's RHNA assignment, RHNA, Regional Housing Needs Assessment, and the action or potential action of a multitude of cities in the state contesting the RENA allocations and the methodology. The item number 2 on your closed session agenda is 2 items of potential exposure to litigation. One of those items is the letter from Ms. Beatificato regarding the Brown Act claims that she has asserted and an associated threat of litigation. You have been provided with that letter, and I believe Ms. Beatificato made reference to it again in her comments, as well as in her written additional written submissions today. And those are the disclosures. I do want to add one comment for those who may be watching on YouTube. We have disabled the ability to make comments on the YouTube broadcast. It has been used to include numerous very offensive and inappropriate comments. The YouTube broadcast is not intended to be a means of communicating with the council. It is instead simply showing you the public meeting and the public comment. So you will not be able to make comments on the YouTube broadcast. That does not change your ability to make comments to the council in connection with our city council meeting. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Barlow. Okay, and now we will move into our closed session. We'll recess the City Council and Successor Agency, the Redevelopment Agency, to closed session.